Minecraft, one of the biggest games in the world, with videos about it getting millions of views in as little as a couple days. One has to wonder why there hasn't been a movie about it yet. With a vast amount of ideas, there's really no excuse, so it's been up to people on YouTube to fill that hole, creating either short films or whole franchises out of a mostly storyless game. Yet one genre that seems to be incredibly popular within the Minecraft community is horror. The quietness of the game, how lonely you are, adds up to a perfectly normal response of creating an assload of horror movies, so I thought, hey, why not review some and see if they're actually good. I won't get too deep, but I won't get too shallow either. I want to actually get a sense of this subculture and see if it can tide me over to whenever that Minecraft movie comes out. So the first movie, short film we'll be looking at is Incursion. The basic plot follows a group of 5-ish astronauts doing their routine cargo load when an unidentified object comes on board, causing one of them, Ivan, to do a lockdown. However, that locks one of them, Jordan, out. This causes some anger between the group as they decide to load in another piece of cargo. However, things go wrong as it turns out the ship is at full capacity, meaning a creature already got in and they're loading another one. They get the cargo inside and evade the still unforeseen creature as they decide to go to the drone bay to pick up tools for defending. They arrive and see one of them near one of the monsters and they decide, fuck them, and send their ass into space along with the creature. Ivan figures out the creature just can't move and throws him into one of the engines, I guess, and thus himself into deep space. All that's left is Seth Green, just Seth, but not for long as it's revealed Ivan is still alive as the film ends with him being picked up, probably by some ass named Yondu, training him to become a space merc. So obviously the first thing to stand out is the animation and how literally amazing it is. I know you're probably going to hear me say this again, but it just looks so good. It's incredibly fluid and makes it all the more immersive, especially when it gets to the ending. There's a lot of attention to detail, even in the small things, like how some things move or light certain parts of the ship or even shadows. There are some parts I believe are just straight up filmed in Minecraft, which makes the more futuristic aspects all the more mind-blowing. Like, how did they do those holograms? The design of the ship is also very ominous, so it ends up looking like the ship from Prometheus, but that's not a totally bad thing. The voice actors do a good job, even with their limited screen time, like the girl Jordan, I think that's her name. She's barely in it, it's my point, but she does a good job. And the short does a good job of creating an overall ominous and dead feeling, between the lack of any external help from their company, again kinda like the Alien franchise, more specifically the first, as they're on their own without soldiers, etc., and the sheer fact that they're in space where no one can hear you scream. It really feels like a small story in a lived-in universe. You really wonder where these aliens come from. Speaking of the aliens, this is where the short slightly falls apart, kinda like the physics for the monsters, it looks quite wobbly. It's got a nice design that, if anything, reminds me of the Mutos, but they're not much of a threat considering how they never really kill anyone. They just have a really nice build-up, and when they show up, the first one's immediately sucked into space and just dies like a little bitch a minute later. It's a little disappointing. Wish we got to see them do more, but hey, at least we have the sequel to show us more of them. We'll get to that soon. The film's also got a neat sense of pacing. It doesn't linger too long on anything unimportant and gets straight to the action, which works for a short film but rarely a movie. It manages to pack in a few good set pieces and an overall breezy runtime that leaves you wanting more. So why don't we get more with the sequel, Incursion 2. The film begins with a dark, desolate feel, just like the first, pitting the two remaining survivors up against the other monsters left in the ship, with no help in sight.
It has been 2 years since the alien was in our ship, and he almost killed, but we didn't let him kill. We made him stay away, so now we're on a new space base, and it's me and my space base team. The space base. New space base. Space base. The space race.
What? But this is April 9th, not 1st, the hell? Is this some sort of late April Fool's joke that took 3 years to make? Alright, I'll keep watching.
Billy, this better be good. Space base.
Who the fuck is Billy? They bring in what they think to be the alien, only this one starved itself out for 2 winters and a wither skeleton, but it is the same color. Space racism. They're given 24 space hours, and an important distinction between space and Earth hours, to die, and decide the best course of action is, holy shit, they blew up the president! Suddenly, the Wither has the same shoes Gus Fring wore, except pink, because yas! And they decide to kill Earth. Oh, not Earth? Oh, okay, never mind folks, calm down. We the people of Earth are fine. Earth can go fuck itself for all we care.
Are you here to kill Earth? Okay.
I think I'm spazzing out. The Wither comes back to POTUS 2, violently penetrating Ivan, introducing him to hentai. Back on Earth, some shit happens. I guess the president is dead, and back on— oh fuck, it's Proton 2 now. 2 Australians argue over whether a snake should have been gifted legs or not. Back on, fuck, I don't know, Earth. Ray Charles introduces us to his Teletubby slaves, and then we're off.
How does the end begin? Kill the Ivan, Alan 10 table monster. I hate the Alan. I hate the Alan. I hate the Alan. This is why we must. Alan Key. But wait! The mining ship must be taken to space base by us only in space. Humans go. Where? Go. Go. I am flying in space.
Is this what English sounds like to people that don't speak it?
My name is Liv. It's short for Olive.
Listen to me, olive oil. I was out there in the
This is space taking space ages. Do you believe in Ivan ghosts? I am a ghost of Ivan. Hello. Hey.
Wait, did he die? Am I tripping or did that never happen? What the hell's going on? I can't even really begin to explain what's happening, but it is entertaining. They begin to bond all together despite one of them being behind a wall later, and...
Oh, but Liv, you were a good. You weren't a bad. Ha 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 ha. That's what you thought. But think another time. Liv is evil backwards. No!
Wait, wasn't that an actual plot twist in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs too? I think I'm getting brain damage the more I try and make sense of this plot.
I love you.
Nice. Let's get back on schedule. Our third short is Sundown, made by the same channel. Hopefully we'll get lucky and get another quality banger this time. The short film is set in Pripyat, which if you don't know is near the Chernobyl explosion site, or I think is actually it, meaning some spooky stuff's about to go down. It's also found footage which really adds another layer to this, making it appeal even more to my primitive ape brain. Two friends go on a trip to Pripyat and meet up with two others, documenting for one of their significant others, I think. They put on their special suits and start heading into the city, briefly heading inside because of a random hotspot in terms of radiation. They continue walking as... Oh shit, come on, not this again.
Villager news.
Oh no. Many acclaimed series come and go throughout our lifetimes, but none quite as significant as today's case, Villager News. This absolute masterpiece was gifted to us on April 26, 2013, voiced by Dan Lloyd, a real estate agent who upon further inspection has two homes in his listing, but here's where it gets interesting. Under his hobbies, he lists cycling. Remind you of any other Dan Lloyd? That's right, famous retired Tour de France cyclist Dan Lloyd. Could this be an alter ego? But it goes even further. When inspecting his LinkedIn, the names of viewing also further cement something important. Their names are the same as the ones listed in Incursion's cast. James McCowan and James Pope, different enough. Thought they were clever with the different last names. However, it's the next two names that really set it off for me. Adam, really? Thought you could sneak that one past me? Adam is clearly and universally known as being short for Andrew. And Mike? It's just a less douchey version of Mark. Nice try, folks, but I've got you down. However, this may not be enough evidence for my hypothesis. So here's some more hard evidence. In the first edition of Villager News, it is shown that Villager 14 litters, a horrible crime, but not as horrible as viewing Dan Lloyd's The Cyclist 14 viewer, which by the way changed from the 14th viewer to not even there. I had to go search for him, extra suspicious, though nothing can be hidden from me. Matthew White, who lives in Spain, which as we all know is right next to the United Kingdom, which is conveniently where the creator of Elemental Animations live. I think I may be uncovering a bigger conspiracy than I thought. It's possible that Dan Lloyd originally used to do cycling as his first job of choice, having great success in many ways, but soon competition arose in the form of Matthew White. It's clear to me now. They are friends off the court, bitter ops on it. Attempting to make peace with Matthew White, he even let him view his silly little LinkedIn account as a means of bringing peace. However, it wasn't good enough. As Matthew White demanded he leave the field of cycling for good. He bitterly but still accepted his offer, but not without a thought of revenge brewing in his head. The math stuck with him for days, only allowing a certain amount of people to view his account. So thus when he fully took on his alter ego's job and made the series, he knew the exact number he was in viewers and decided to subtly but slowly plant the seeds of his malpractice, something as small as littering. But even when faced with justice, he cannot be the bigger man. Truly brave, Dan Lloyd, whichever fucking account you still use, and I commend your bravery for this. It will not be forgotten. Oh, and the Dan Lloyd real estate agent lives in Pittsburgh, exactly 6,371 kilometers from France, where he used to cycle before making Minecraft animations, and then real estate. Now, if you take the number of views on the first Villager News and divide by that, you get around 5,048. 8, as in 8 videos of Villager News. Just something to think about. However, it doesn't stop there. As in the fourth video of Villager News, it seems a war has started, but take note of the reason why.
Breaking news! We are at war with our rival village, the Testificants. One of them made a hateful comment about my sexy mustache.
Did you catch that? Here, I'll play it again.
One of them made a hateful comment about my sexy mustache.
Did you catch it this time? His mustache. It initially swept right past me in the first 3 Villager News videos, but here it is playing a role in war. And they're fighting against their bitter rivals, the Testificants. Sound like any word you know? That's right, testicles. And do you know anyone with a mustache involved in a war that had a problem with testicles? That's right, Adolf Hitler. And when did the war happen? In the 40s. Actually, sir, it started in 1939. Shut the fuck up!
About the blow.
Billy, this better... You have space base. Kill space base. Okay.
And take note of how they described his testicle, an undescended testicle. Does that word sound like any word to you? That's right, descendant, meaning a person, plant, or animal that is descended from a particular ancestor. But take note of the un in front of it, meaning it isn't descended. Is it possible this segment wanted to further out Matthew White as Hitler coming back, starting a war only this time in 2040, and with a larger mustache, and in the form of a Minecraft war to slip past us? It's possible. Hell, if you look at his bio, it talks about his high performance, clearly a nod to those making fun of his unperformative, worthless penis. How brave. And again, look at his bio, but only lower, on his comments on a very important one. Congrats, Sally. Awesome news for South Australia. Does this ring a bell for any World War II enthusiasts? That's right, Australia, the continent that helped fight against Germany despite some early bitter rivalries between the US. It's possible that Matthew White may have been helping hire Germans posing as Australians to further weaken their continent in order to invade them and rid the US of one of its allies, weakening them, but not France. We'll get back to that. If you look even closer to what Matthew was commenting on, it gives us more evidence to back up. Working as development manager at South Australian Tourism Commission? Could it be? Letting Germans tour Australia to further know which places to invade? How disgusting. But why not France, considering the obvious bitter rivalries between Dan Lloyd and Matthew White? Well, let's take into consideration how France played a part in World War II. If you remember, they didn't do much. In fact, their biggest contribution was the phony war, where much of nothing happened. They overran northern France quite easily, as the Maginot Line was quite the hilarious marvel. It was impervious to attacks, but not to blitzkrieg, a form of overrunning with armored vehicles, going around the Maginot Line and overtaking France and Belgium and other places in just 6 weeks. Clearly he knew France would not be a threat and would quickly submit after Australia fell. But it goes even further. If we look at the comments on Sally's page, we can see a comment with a yellow thumbs up, approving this behavior. Now I won't be making the connections I am today if this one little detail didn't happen. She liked the comment. This changes everything we know about history. Strap on, folks. Since we know animated characters can and have been used to out their plans, what famous animated characters are yellow? That's right, the Minions. And where were they conveniently during World War II? Stuck in a cave with white, troll things? Fuck man, I don't know, Yetis. And what color are Yetis? White. And what color is Matthew White? White. Is it possible they were trying to out Matthew White and Sally Heading's plans to use Minions, who were originally in World War II but tried to cover it up? Hence why the first film shows similarly white beings covering for the Minions during the 1940s. But wait, there's more! If you look at the cast of Minions 2, there's RZA, as in Riz 'em up. Is it possible RZA was trying to riz up the writers to get rid of their blatant exposing of the Australians covering up for the Minions and show them as superheroes to further distract us? What would you want them to think of the Minions? Nobodies. Simple little creatures that had no involvement with the atrocities of World War II. And what was the film he was in the year before Minions 2 to further convince them? Nobody. Boom, bitches. And there's even more propaganda. Minions, The Rise of Gru. Rise sounds suspiciously similar to Reich, does it not?
Coincidence? I think not!
It's all a part of the plan. One more thing of note before we head even deeper into your assholes, Villager News 4. The creeper specifically targeted is not being a part of the war. Not only is this villager a fucking racist, but it's also very clearly another jab at Hitler, as creepers are famously known for resembling a penis. Another jab is wee fleeing the hell out of here. You know, as I was brewing this masterpiece of a video and more thoughts kept coming to me, this all just doesn't make sense. How could they be so blatant about it? But then I thought about it and it made even more sense. They were so busy with us wondering how blatant they could be, they didn't think about what would happen when you analyze why they could be so blatant. Do you get it? B is in Bumblebee from Transformers. Now, this may sound like a stretch, but where was Bumblebee during the 1940s? That's right, he was fighting the Nazis. Quick, actually serious side note, Transformers 5 actually had them fight the Nazis, so that's pretty hilarious. Okay, back to the video. Maybe this was their plan. They knew they're going to be outed so blatantly, but wanted Bumblebee to come and fight them, recognizing what they meant. However, take a closer look, one final look at Villager News. This time, the giant problem video. Sounds like anything we mention? That's right, Bumblebee and the Autobots. They planned for this, as while there are no bees in the videos, there's giant rabbits, which as we all know, are descendants of bees. And look at this right here, humans being turned into weapons. It's all clear to me now. The final stage of this battle. If they were to be outed as Hitler coming back in the fight, most wouldn't notice how they cleverly tricked Bumblebee into coming into the fight. But since they fought their animalistic counterparts' ancestors, they knew how to stop them. They only wanted to leave the seeds of B to make us think we could have a chance at stopping them. But it's no use. There's only one genre of YouTubers who can stop them. YouTubers shitting on Darman. It may sound crazy, but here's how. If you remember the comment alluding to the Minions' involvement, you may notice the name of the person commenting, Karen Jones. Sounds like a similar name to you? That's right, Karen with an E. And what's the biggest antagonist these YouTubers have discussed in these Darman videos? That's right, an absurdly comically racist Karen. Oh, holy shit, that's, pretty racist. And the Karen with an I just gave it away. Look at the spelling. I instead of an E, I's an I. Also known as you, as in YouTube. They've outed themselves. The fools! Now finally our favorite lesbian streamer / content creator can help save us now. And once more, when you look up the cast of Darman, one sticks out. Shantae Massard, who started I Got the Hookup Too. Indeed she has. She has hooked us up with further evidence to provide to the government. Her movie unfinished. A clear nod to Matthew White, aka Hitler's Plan, which is unfinished. Unlike how I am with this video, because I'm dragging this out for too long and I'm running out of things to say, so I'll just leave you with this. I don't know how I got here, but please share this video, like and subscribe. This took way too long, but I hope you enjoyed it. I don't normally do content exactly like this, but it is about movies to an extent, so if you like that, you'll like this channel and what it has in store. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and please don't harass these people and spam their pages in case this gets popular. I don't want to annoy them or have you guys annoy them. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.